Good morning. Welcome to Village in Motion. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2017, and this morning I am here with Diane Havinga, or Havinga.
Havinga.
One of those.
However you want it.
She is our executive producer here at Channel 6, here with an update on what's happening at Channel 6.
Right. I'm not Lynn, but I could pretend to be Lynn.
Lynn Keefe had hoped to be here this morning, but she is felled by germs, so Diane is stepping in.
So ask any general services questions you want.
I don't think we want to do that.
It's all coming soon.
It's all coming soon. Lots of work going on campus. We know that.
Always. And that also means at Channel 6, we're constantly tweaking and updating and improving our signal. And I thought since Lynn couldn't be here, I'd just kind of jump in and talk to people about, especially new residents, about some of the things we do here at Channel 6.
I think that's a great idea. What's happening?
Well, first I thought we can start with the TV guides because as some of residents may know, the lady right here is our publisher of our TV guide.
I just type in the information you give me.
So we have the TV guide, and we publish this weekly. Usually Thursday morning, TV guides are switched out. And I want to talk to people about, well, first let's talk about on the front of the page is everything for the week in terms of Village in Motion, which we consider our flagship program, and all the special programs that will air that particular week and that day. So for instance, I think this is this week's. So instead of general services, unfortunately, we do have a little
Sometimes we have to be a little flexible.
Yeah, subject to change. But it will also list the fact that at 2 and 8 will be last week's Coffee with the Exec Team meeting. And then on the back is all the programs that we air every day during the week. And I always like to tell people we start you off with exercise at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we put you to sleep at night with breathing and relaxation.
And there are people up exercising that early in the morning.
There are.
I would not be one of them.
So the TV guides can be found 3 locations, right here in front of Village, at Village Square, in front of Channel 6. You can pick them up at Town Center and Hunter's Crossing by the Cubbies. There's actually a little wooden box that Bill Campbell made for us years ago where the TV guides can be picked up. And of course, they're posted on the Village Bridge. And we, of course, promote our program on the Scroll daily. So there are several ways to find out about programs.
And one thing I want to point out, I'm sure that, excuse me, there are a number of people like me who maybe don't get up early enough to tune in to Village in Motion at 10 o'clock. It's also reshown at noon, at 4 o'clock, and at
7 p.m. and 10 p.m.
7 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Right.
So there are a variety of times to watch it, and if you missed Village in Motion on the television, you can see it
on the YouTube channel.
On YouTube.
But also the shows are also repeated on the weekend too.
Yes.
So if you miss any of the shows, we repeat the shows basically back to back, starting at 9:30 a.m., running until about noon, both Saturday and Sunday. So there's lots of
binge watch.
You could binge watch, of course. So we call them the VIM encores, and we do cut out certain things, like you're not going to see, if you miss Spotlight on History on Monday, you're not going to see it on the weekend, or same thing with the Troubadour. But you will see the content of the show on the weekends. But yes, our YouTube channel, which I had a resident the other day, John Strong, comes in and he says, Diane, I love your YouTube channel. That's how I watch Village in Motion. And our YouTube channel now is about 2 years old. We started it in June, about 2 years ago. And so every program going back at least 2 years and then some, because sometimes we do also add our video time machine. So there are some older programs that are also there. But if you're looking for something that happened 2 years ago, you could search it by date, or if you kind of know the subject or the person, like Lynn Keith, you want to know, well, Diane doesn't look like Lynn Keith. What does Lynn Keith look like?
Right.
You could search Lynn and all the shows that she has participated in.
I've never tried that. That's a good idea.
But anyway, so our YouTube channel, and as you can see right now, that's the playlist. And there, I see Susan. That's
scary.
That's part of you. So some
and you can just type in Green Spring Channel 6, all one word.
Right. And that's because we have so many subscribers now, we're able to, you're able to do that. So you can be anywhere in the world, which is pretty scary, and watch us on YouTube. So that's another way. And of course, you can watch it, you can pause it, you can go back to it. If you like the program, you could send the link to your family or your friends saying, this is really good stuff. You should
it's really
watch
helpful.
This. So yes, we're very proud and happy about
But
the
Channel
YouTube
6 is
channel.
not only about Channel 6. You also offer programming where else?
Well, our chapel channel, which is Channel 2. That channel has really started to develop into a more than just whenever there's a religious service, we air them live. There are other events that will air live, like if there's a concert there or a meeting or lecture, whatever. There are some memorial services that are aired live, but that is really at the discretion of the family, and we don't announce that. We don't publicize it. It's totally at their discretion. But for the most part, anything that happens in the chapel, so Friday at 10 a.m. is the Catholic Mass, so that's aired live. Sunday, our 2 village church services, 8:30, right? 8:30? Someone tell me 8:30. I'm thinking it must be 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then Monday nights is the Green Spring Fellowship, which is at 7 p.m. And then we take those programs that are aired live, we actually record them, and we replay them back during the week. So last night, you could have seen the Monday Mass. Tonight, you're going to see the Village Church. Wednesday, you're going to see the fellowship. Thursday, you're going to see either the Jewish service, the Episcopal service, some other kind of faith-oriented service, and they're all at 5 and 9 p.m. And then on Friday, we have a special chapel service program, which could be anything. It could have been a lecture, it could be a concert, it could be a repeat of sometimes, like say, the 8:30 a.m. Village Church service. And then, of course, on the weekend, we also air now a chapel feature. This, of course, is on Channel 6.
So lots of good programming.
Right, and then on Channel 2, if you just tune it in when there isn't anything going on, we give you some wonderful shots of either the interior of the chapel or the outside of the chapel, and we program music specifically for that channel. So it's
not the regular music that we hear on Channel 6.
I would say it's more of a spiritual, maybe meditative type, more little, I would say, low key. So that you have an alternative.
A little quieter music.
That's a good word, yes.
And then the third channel would be?
It's Channel 8. Now, Channel 8 is just going to give you the scroll and music. And that's there 24/7.
And for those who haven't watched the scroll before, what's the scroll?
So the scroll,
I'm new at Green Spring. Tell me what the scroll is.
Well, I like to call the scroll the electronic bulletin board, essentially. And what you're seeing is all the information, the messages, the events that are happening at Green Spring. It's going to tell you about general services, like, if there's updates on the windows, or, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, this elevator isn't functioning today, or it's, the bus, because of weather, the transportation schedule has been modified. So any information like that, we give you the hospital list of people who want us to tell you that they're in the hospital. People's birthdays, again, people who want us to know that they're having a birthday, and anniversaries. Now, the only thing with the anniversaries is that you have to tell us you're having an anniversary, and we don't keep that information from year to year.
So if you're having an anniversary coming up anytime soon,
just give us a call or stop by with the information, and we'll go ahead and put it up for you. So it's just everything, the clubs and dances that are going on, you know, what's happening in the fitness center, you name it. So that's our electronic bulletin board. And I do know the number one complaint is it goes by too fast. But
It takes about 30 minutes. So it's like watching a TV show.
We hope it's not 30
go.
minutes. So we try to actually keep it 50 minutes and under.
Yes.
So that it repeats. And if we
There's a lot of information.
There's a lot of
there.
information.
Right.
That's why we say to people, refer to the bulletin boards, because they have the flyers. They have all that information. And also the Village Bridge posts events and information.
And there are times of the day, and it's listed on the TV schedule, when the bulletin board is narrated. So if you have difficulty seeing the bulletin board on your TV screen, there are times of the day that you can hear what's listed on the bulletin board. Someone sits here in the TV studio and reads everything on the bulletin board, so there's no excuse for you missing what's on the bulletin board. If you can't see it, you can listen to it.
And it's 7 days a week, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 3 p.m., and 6:30. Now, I will say sometimes on the weekends in particular, when the programs start to run a little bit longer, we may cut out one of the narrative voiceovers because we just don't have that time to do that.
Yeah.
But that also brings me to one of the things I wanted to talk about, and that's volunteers.
We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
All right. I'll speak really fast.
Okay, talk to me.
But we're always looking for volunteers. And you know Susan. Susan's a volunteer. I have 3 gentlemen. I have a 4th one. Haven't met him yet. But
He's a visitor.
He's a visitor. We'll get him to work. But they're all volunteers who come and help us not only run Village in Motion, but they help us with pre-tapes when we have events that we pre-tape. We have people who actually do the screens. We have people who do the narrative scroll.
Does it take any training?
No, we train you.
In other words, I don't need to have any background in this. I can just come in and say, how can I help?
Exactly. As you know for a fact, Susan, that
I have no background in
you
this.
have no background, and we talked and chatted, and we said, okay, this is what you do, and we throw you into the fire,
That's right.
and you haven't gotten burned. But no, seriously, we train people. If they're going to work a camera, we have residents kind of stay with them until they get comfortable, and then we just say, okay. And as you know, we all make mistakes, and sometimes, because it's live television, you see it on the air.
That's all right.
Which is fine, and that's what actually makes it fun.
So if you're interested in joining us, come on down.
Come on down. You can call us. You can stop by. We're at Village Square. We're pretty much available Monday through Friday. I like to tell people come by after 11 when we're done with all the live programming that we're doing, just because we can't really talk to you when you come in and we're in the middle of something. And before 5, just because you know that someone's going to be here.
Right.
Or send me an email, and we'll get you started.
Sounds good. Thanks for the update.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm sorry Lynn wasn't able to be here.
Well, I'm sorry too, but we're glad that you were.